Listen to me. Don't start a business until you watch this video, because we see people every single day on Facebook, on Instagram, on YouTube, showing off the car that you want, showing off the house that you want, showing off the lifestyle that you want. And when you see that, you say, I want that too, so I'm gonna start a business just like they did. But have you ever asked yourself truthfully, are you actually ready to do what it takes to become an entrepreneur and to start a business? And so if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur and starting a business, don't do it until you watch this video, because we are going to be going over the 5 warning signs that you might not be ready to start a business, starting with number 5. Warning sign number 5 is don't start a business unless you can focus. Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, 2 of the richest people of all time in history, were both asked, what is the number 1 thing that you attribute to your success? And both of them, without talking to each other, without communicating at all, both said the word focus. Because without focus, you have nothing. You become the pinball of life, getting bounced around in every direction without actually choosing any of it yourself. Think about it like this. I could go into my analytics after this video is released, and I could literally show you that there's probably only 70% of people still watching this video right now that started watching it. Over 30% of people have already dropped off this video literally within the first minute. And if people can't even focus on watching one short video that's gonna save them hundreds of thousands of dollars and so many mistakes, how could they possibly be expected to focus enough to actually create a successful business? And so when you're thinking about starting a business, do your due diligence, understand what your particular skill sets are, and then focus relentlessly on the business you choose. Don't let yourself get distracted by shiny object syndrome and the next best thing. Choose one thing and focus on it until you get the results you want. Warning sign number 4, don't start a business that you don't understand. If you're thinking about starting a business, you really want to take the time and you want to ask yourself if you're starting this business for the right reasons, or if you're just following some type of fad like cryptocurrency. Because the truth is, if you try to buy into cryptocurrency and you don't understand it at all, thinking that you're going to get rich overnight, I promise you that you're going to have a very bad time. Because the truth is, in any industry, before you can make money in that industry, you have to understand that industry. And the way you understand that industry is by getting experience in that industry. So let's take an example. Let's say that you want to go and open a bar. And I'm not saying that's a good idea, because probably in most cases it's not. But essentially there's 2 options. If you want to open a bar, you could just go try and do it, open a bar, see what happens, or you could go talk to pre-existing bar owners. You could go find a bar owner that's obviously doing very well and is always packed full of people, and you could say, hey, you know, how did this happen? Why did this work for you? What are some mistakes that you'd avoid for somebody who's just trying to open a bar that, you know, hopefully will one day become as successful as yours? And then you could talk to a bar owner of somewhere, you know, that's maybe a little bit less successful looking and say, hey, you know, would you recommend opening a bar? Would you do it again? What are some of the things that you've learned? And you could take that experience and you could apply it to your own life and to your own choices. If you are actually going to open a bar, maybe you'll have more insight as to whether or not you should actually do it. And you can apply this same logic to anything that you do. Go talk to people who have experience with what you want to do. What would they do better? What would they do differently? What were their biggest mistakes? What do they wish they could do over? Learn from their mistakes and apply it to your own experiences. Warning sign number 3 is don't start a business if you don't have any money. And the crazy part is that actually probably comes as a shock to a lot of people, but the truth is almost every business has at least some expenses of some kind. And people who think that they can just come in and start a business with $2.50 to their name are gonna have a bad time. And nearly every business takes time to actually get off the ground. And the thing is, I get messages, hundreds of messages every single day saying, Kevin, I'm desperate. I have $3 left. What type of business should I start? But the harsh truth is that this is the absolute worst time that you want to start a business. When you're desperate, you make desperate choices. Desperation leads to short-term decisions, and short-term decisions is not how you build a business. Jeff Bezos, 20 plus years ago, said that he was going to make the everything store. He said what he was going to do 20 years ago. Most people can't even plan what they want to do tomorrow, but the the way that you actually create a significant, lasting business is by thinking long term. And it's almost impossible to do that when you're acting in a state of desperation. And so if you think you're gonna start a business today or tomorrow and start getting paid a week or 2 weeks from now, you're probably going to have a bad time, because that is an employee mentality, getting paid every 2 weeks for a salary. Businesses are not that predictable. Businesses have a lot more risk entailed with them, and that is why business owners get paid so much more than employees, because they shoulder all of the risk themselves. They don't have a reliable salary every 2 weeks and have that, comfort and that state of mind where they know that they're going to have that money, which is exactly why the risk versus reward model really rewards business owners who are willing to take risks when those risks eventually pay off. But the truth that a lot of people don't want to accept is most businesses take months, if not years, to really generate a significant return. And you have to think to yourself, what are you going to do when you're waiting months or even years for that business to actually pay off? You still have to eat, you still have to pay your rent, you still have to pay your bills. And so if you have absolutely no money to start a business right now, what should you do? And that's probably the only time you'll ever hear me actually say you should get a job. But the truth is, I had a job that I saved money with. Most people have to put the work in unless you actually inherit money or you have money from some other source. People have to put the work in. They have to put their time in to actually earn and save money from a job that they can then actually invest into a business. And there's a lot of other people out there who will say, oh, you can start a business with $1 and you could become a millionaire overnight. But it's not true. I'm always going to be transparent with you guys. I'm always going to be honest with you guys. And so if you want to start a business, don't start a business if you have nothing, because it's going to lead to desperate decisions, and desperate decisions make short-term decisions, and short-term decisions make very short-term businesses that are not going to give you the type of returns and profits that you want. Warning sign number 2, don't start a business if you think starting a business is going to give you more free time. Because if you think that you're going to start a business and become an entrepreneur and live the magical 4-hour work week, you're because the 4-hour work week is just the title of a book, right? It's meant to make you interested. It's meant to sell books, which it obviously did. But if you think that Tim Ferriss worked 4-hour work weeks to get to where he's at,
gonna have a bad time.
Because when you're working and building your business, there's no 9 to 5. I think about my business 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And am I constantly working during that time? No, of course not. But I am thinking about it, and I'm planning, and I'm thinking about how to get more customers, how we can make improvements, how we can, improve conversions or tracking or optimization, or, what type of new ideas and things that we can actually put out to add value and enable more people to actually leave their jobs behind. Because eventually, after a lot of hard work, you can take time off, and you literally can work the 4-hour work week. But going into creating a business thinking that you're just gonna immediately become an entrepreneur and live the 4-hour work week, you're going to have a bad time, because you're gonna go into it with the wrong expectations. Building a business, especially at first, takes 24-hour-a-day attention to really make it successful. And after years of building automation and infrastructure and hiring employees and people that can actually help you run your business, then of course you can have more freedom. But at first, it takes up all of your day. I'm constantly thinking about my business. Even when I'm on vacation, I still think about my business. And you have to remember that you are creating something for the long term. And so you should go into it thinking that you really are gonna pour your heart and soul into your business. And if you do it with that mentality, then you're gonna have a good time. If you don't love being an entrepreneur and love the hustle and love creating something and watching it grow into something real, then it's not gonna work, because it's just too hard to make it work unless you have the real love for what you do. And warning sign number 1, and most importantly, is something that we're gonna get to in just 1 second. But really quick, I do wanna give a shout out to our daily comment winner, who is Nick Oloteo, who says, everybody wants Mr. Beast numbers, but nobody wants to listen to It's Every Day Bro for 10 hours straight. So this is an amazing comment, because Mr. Beast is one of the most popular YouTubers in the world. He's probably earning over $1 million a month from YouTube itself. And the way that he did that was by grinding and building his business. And a lot of people don't realize that he actually made videos for over 5 years before he got popular at all. And he's only really exploded in the last year or two. And so he's a perfect example of building your business, and then eventually watching it actually explode into something massive. And so back to warning sign number 1, guys, is don't build a business unless you are willing to make sacrifices. Because building a business is hard. hard, and building a successful business is 100 times harder. And it takes sacrifices to build a successful business. There's gonna be a ton of nights where you're tired and your boyfriend or your girlfriend or your husband or your wife wants to go to bed early and your eyes are burning and you're exhausted, but you have to stay up because there's more work that has to be done for your business before the morning. And they're gonna go to sleep and you're gonna be by yourself on your computer and it's gonna be dark out and you're gonna be grinding. And those nights are not beautiful. It's not some movie where, you know, there's epic music playing and you're Rocky doing push-ups, you're pushing it to the limit. It's gonna be you in your underwear in the dark, exhausted on your computer by yourself. You're probably gonna be stinky and your wife's probably gonna be mad at you for not actually coming up and going to bed. But the truth is, enough of those nights actually compounding one after the other are going to be the difference between creating a successful business and a business that fails. And there's gonna be times when your friends wanna go out to the club or they wanna go to some concert or go to Mexico for the weekend, and you're gonna have to make a choice about whether or not you are going to do that or you're gonna spend time at home working on building your businesses. And it's a strange thing watching what happens to your friends as you start to build a more and more successful business, because people start to look at you and treat you differently. You start to lose touch with people. People say you've changed, and it can be lonely at times. But remember, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, and you will meet other entrepreneurs who share a lot of ideas with you, who are hustling, who are building, new and exciting businesses and helping people. And like anything in life, it's all about balance, because there's no fun in making all of this money and building all of these businesses if you never take any time to enjoy it and you have no one to enjoy it with. But the truth is, I've done and experienced a lot in my life, and not much has ever felt as meaningful as building a business and helping hundreds of thousands of entrepreneurs just like you quit their 9-to-5 jobs, leave that life behind them, and create a meaningful source of income for themselves. And so after hearing all that about starting a business, if you're saying to yourself, you know what, I'm still in, I know I want that, I know I want to create something special, then we have something special for you, because I'm going to teach you the #1 skill that you need to be successful in today's knowledge economy. There's going to be a link right here down in the description. It's going to be a completely free training where I'm going to be going over the #1 skill that you need to master if you want to become successful in today's society. Because it does not matter what state you're in, it doesn't matter where you are, it doesn't matter what your situation is. If you have this #1 skill, you can be successful as an entrepreneur, period. Or if you just want to check out another video on YouTube, check out this video right here where a student of mine and a father of 4 talks about how he made over $200,000 in just 30 days. It's a great video. See you there.
My name is Ernest Epps, and I'm a father of 4. In the last 90 days, I made $230,000 selling digital courses. Now I'm a member of Digital Course Secrets.